There are 5 books that I promise you will provide immediate and actionable skills and wisdom that will improve 5 of the most important areas of your life, and you need to read them as early in 2021 as possible. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If this is your first time here, my name is Gerard LeConte, and I'm here every Sunday morning to talk about something that has caught my attention and compelled me to dig deeper into, usually something to do with American politics and government. However, from time to time, I also like to discuss matters of personal development, because I believe that a person who is in a good position to govern themselves is in the best position to criticize the governing bodies that they're subject to. One of the oldest and most effective ways to achieve personal development is to read books. Now I know it's 2021, reading books is hard. There are almost always much more compelling ways to spend your time, whether it's doom scrolling or catching up on the insane amount of extremely high quality streaming content that's released almost every day, or listening to podcasts, or making sure that you've watched every video on my channel. I have the same problem, and Aaron and I need to be really deliberate about setting aside time for us to read, or else it just doesn't happen. However, it's always worth it. One of the best things that you can do in the first quarter of 2021 is to develop a reading habit if you don't already have one. And to help you, I'm going to recommend 5 books that I've read in the last year that are going to provide you with highly valuable opportunities for development in extremely important aspects of your life: money, relationships, eating, learning, and of course, politics, because I know why you come to this channel and I've got to give the people what they want. Read these books now. The sooner you read them, the sooner you can put them into action. You can find links to all of these books in the description below, but before you go absolutely any further, pause this video and subscribe to this channel if this is the kind of content that you enjoy, so you never miss an episode. Okay, book 1. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Now before you bail at my first suggestion, I know that it's a cringy title. He knows that it's a cringy title, but he's got to sell books. Look, it's really hard to find a good personal finance book. There's no way around it. I've read most of the popular ones: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Total Money Makeover, The Millionaire Next Door, on and on. I hated them all. They're either completely unrealistic, they're judgmental, or they give such vague and obscure advice that it's really hard to action on them. I know a lot of people love those books, but they just don't do it for me. This is not that kind of book. In this book, Ramit focuses on the fundamentals. And I don't mean the you must save this percentage of your income on this specific thing, or you should have this much saved by this age, or you're wasting your money if you rent, or millennials are broke because avocado toast tastes good, or any of the overgeneralized nonsense that we've been told are fundamentals. I'm talking about the real practical fundamentals. I'm talking specific checking and savings accounts that offer the best benefits, specific credit cards that offer the best perks and how to use them, specific retirement accounts and the order in which you should be contributing to them. So many people have gotten to my age without ever checking to see if they're using the best bank. So many people have gotten far older than me before making sure that they're laying the groundwork to retire. This book will tell you exactly how to avoid that without telling you how to live your life. It's been instrumental in Aaron and I making sure that all of our financial ducks are in a row. Speaking of Aaron, Book 2, Couples That Work by Jennifer Petriglieri. Originally, Aaron and I decided to read this book because it aggregates years of research into the successes and failures of dual career couples. Aaron and I both have careers in tech, and we're both pretty ambitious people, but neither of us wanted that to end up being the reason why our relationship faltered. That being said, once I started reading this, I realized that there's no reason why the lessons in it should be restricted to dual career couples only. Regardless whether or not both people in a relationship are career-minded, the single most important thing a couple can do to improve the chances of long-term success is learn how to manage each person's values, desires, goals, and concerns and fears. That's what this book is all about. More importantly, it's about building tools and frameworks that you will use as a couple over and over again as the relationship grows. Our favorite thing that's come out of this book is something called couples contracting. Now, the book goes in depth on how couple contracting works, but in short, it's the process of taking important, if sometimes mundane or scary, aspects to a relationship that couples often rely on assumptions, acquiescence, or in the worst case scenarios, fighting to manage, and turns them into manageable, collaborative, and safe conversations. Finances, kids, where you want to live, whose career comes first, and in what scenario. All this kind of stuff often gets swept under the rug because they're difficult and scary conversations to have, but Aaron and I have found that using the principles taught in this book, those conversations have become some of the most intimate and romantic aspects of our relationship. They've brought us so much closer together. Even if you're single, this is worth reading. It will prepare you to give a relationship the best shot at reaching its true potential when that time comes. But let's touch on something a little less heavy. My undisputed favorite genre of books is cookbooks. I love them. I'm addicted to them. I can't get enough of them. And my favorite one that I got last year was Jubilee by Toni Tipton-Martin. There are a couple of big things that I look for in a cookbook, starting with how it looks. Let's be honest, cookbooks should be fun to look at, and this one definitely fits that bill. It's gorgeous. Second, I want it to roughly fit our diet. Aaron and I eat a lot of whole food, so it's important to us that recipes avoid processed ingredients, especially sugar and processed carbs. I was pleasantly surprised to see how seldom I had to find substitutes for ingredients in here. It's a surprisingly healthy book. Now, all great cookbooks teach you how to be a better cook by improving your repertoire of skills and techniques, but truly special cookbooks help you understand the cultural significance of what you're eating. That's at the heart of this cookbook. The express goal of Jubilee is to synthesize centuries of African American cuisine and highlight its variance and diversity. Finally, the recipes in a great cookbook have to taste great, and these definitely do. Some of my favorites include the Jamaican jerk ribs, the maksho, and the beets etouffee. Don't think about it, just buy this book. Now, one of the modern cheat codes to boosting your reading habit is audiobooks. I rely on them heavily, but admittedly, some books don't work great as audiobooks. For example, I tried to get through I Will Teach You to Be Rich on audiobook, and it just didn't really work for me. There were too many figures that I needed to see to retain. But the next two books are perfect for audiobooks, and that's how I read them both. First, a book about learning. This isn't a new book by any means, but it's the best book about learning that I read in 2020, The Inner Game of Tennis by Timothy Gallwey. I'll be transparent with you. I loved this book first and foremost because it helped me understand why I'm good at learning, even though I don't learn in a way that's ever been endorsed by any instructor that I've had for pretty much anything in my life. I break all of the learning rules. I've never had great study habits. I'm terrible at focusing. I procrastinate. The list goes on, but I'm a voracious learner, and I'm fairly productive against all odds, and I promise that it's not just innate talent. The book focuses specifically on the psychological skills and habits necessary for effective learning and consistent high performance. There's a lot to it, enough to have its own video, which I might make one day, and you really need to read it to get it all, but I'll summarize one part that was particularly impactful for me. Gallwey describes the detrimental effect of being one's own critic, being too hard on yourself. Instead of being judgmental of your own performance, Gallwey argues that it's more effective to assume the role of an agnostic observer of your performance. For example, after a call with a business partner, I could think to myself, I should have said this if I wanted to get that, or I wasn't assertive enough on that call for them to take me seriously. However, I will learn more and improve faster if I simply think about how the call went and what the results were, almost as if I had a casual interest in the relationship between how the people on the call behaved and what the results were, rather than being chiefly interested in whether or not my behavior resulted in the outcome that I wanted. And finally, the political book, American Carnage by Tim Alberta. If you like politics, and I'm assuming that you do because you watch this channel, this book is an absolute must-read, especially if you're a millennial. Alberta is one of the premier political reporters of our generation, and he provides a modern history of the Republican Party, from George W. Bush's exit from the White House through the Obama presidency to Trump's election. It provides vital context to the current political situation, and it really helped me better understand the politics that I've grown up in. Seriously, I don't care if you're a liberal or a conservative. If you want to better understand the state of our government, our politics, and political discourse in 2021, there are few better people to help you do that than Tim Alberta, and there are no stories more important to know than the ones he tells in this book. It's terrific. You won't put it down until you're finished. And there you have it. 5 books that will help you end 2021 better off than you started it. Again, links to all 5 are down below. Thank you for watching. I really hope that you take the recommendations, and be sure to come back to this video and leave a comment letting me know what you thought of the book if you do read it. Hey, if you've already read it, comment down below about that too. I want to know what you think of them. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Have the best week that you can, and I'll talk to you next Sunday.